Welcome back to the West Ham Voice. The game against Southend, our first proper pre-season friendly, ended about half an hour ago. And I want to talk a little bit about it. Not so much about what happened in the game. I mean, it's important. I mean, the game ended 1-1, but more about some individual players and what it kind of means for the players that were missing moving forward before we start the championship in earnest. Now, before I get into this video, I think it's really important to put the game into perspective. Pre-season friendlies should never be judged on the results. Nobody's going to remember whether we beat or lost against Southend a month before the championship gets underway. What matters at this stage is fitness, sharpness. You know, for the players, it's about getting minutes into their legs after a long summer. For Nuno, it's about assessing his squad, deciding who's going to be able to trust, who's going to fit into his system, and perhaps more importantly, who does and doesn't have a future at West Ham United for the upcoming season. And for some of these players, these friendlies aren't just an audition to impress Nuno, they're also an opportunity to put themselves in the shop window for clubs that are looking to sign or loan before the transfer window closes. Now, one thing that immediately stood out is who wasn't involved in the game. Missing completely from both the starting 11 and the substitutes bench were Nicholas Fullkrug, Maxwell Cornet and Jean-Claire Todibo, as well as Songutu Magassa. But we know Magassa was carrying a knot, so there's no reason to read too much into his absence. But the other three, West Ham fans probably weren't surprised that these players weren't part of this pre-season friendly and whose futures have been questioned. Then, of course, there were the World Cup players who are still enjoying an extended break, so we read not much into that either. Now, to be fair, Fullkrug, Cornet and Todibo could all feature against Stevenage on Wednesday, and if they do, perhaps there's nothing much to read into their absence against Southend. But if they're absent again, then I think we'll have a pretty good indication of where West Ham expect business to happen before the season starts or before the transfer window closes. Striker, left-sided attacker, centre-back, and possibly another central midfielder. Now, those are exactly the positions that these absentees occupy. Now, as for the game itself, well, no, I'll tell you a lie. When it comes to midfielder, if Magassa's back, then maybe. I still think we'll get a central midfielder anyway. Look, as for the game itself, Southend took the lead after Carl Walker-Peters conceded a penalty on the 14th minute. It's probably one Mad Samanson will want to forget because it went right, the penalty squeezed right underneath him. Look, however, West Ham responded well. Just before half-time, Jared Bowen delivered a dangerous corner straight onto Dinos Mavropanos' head, who powered home the equaliser. Before that goal, we also saw some of the better moments of the first half. Max Kilman clipped a superb pass into Pablo's path, who was in the penalty area. His first touch was excellent, and the finish wasn't far away. It forced a really good save from the Southend keeper. And on the hour mark, Nuno completely changed the side. 9 academy players came on the pitch. That kind of tells you exactly what pre-season is for. It's about giving players, young players, an opportunity to shine. Finley Herrick was chosen ahead of Alphonse Areola to replace Hermansen in goal, and that may not mean anything either. Or it could be a little clue that Areola's future isn't quite as certain as maybe it once looked. Look, the youngsters all got valuable minutes. Casey, Battram, Myers and Gollum Beckis made up the back four. Potts, Orford, Fearon and Ajala made up the midfield. And Callum Marshall played up front. They all got half an hour to show Nuno what they could actually offer. But if I'm completely honest, 2 players stood out above most other players, to be honest with you. One, a very experienced player, and the other, an exciting young prospect, James Ward-Prowse and Keiber Lamadrid. Let's start with Ward-Prowse. After spending last season away on loan, plenty of supporters assumed he would end up leaving permanently. I think a lot of fans still think that anyway. But what I saw against Southend kind of reminded everyone exactly what JWP can bring to a game. He brought calm, control, a bit of leadership, slowed the game down when it needed to be slowed down. He constantly wanted the ball. He sprayed the ball really well. Every teammate looked comfortable giving him possession because they knew he'd make the right decisions with it. That doesn't always grab headlines. It's not flashy, but managers absolutely love players like that. But is it enough for Nuno to give him a chance this season? The Championship is an incredibly demanding league. You're going to play 46 games. So having someone capable of controlling possession can become quite priceless. Ward-Prowse is an experienced professional. He's captain Southampton, has played for England. He's done quite a lot. And I actually think Nuno may value that kind of experience in the Championship. But I guess time will tell if Ward-Prowse is given a reprieve by Nuno or not. His intelligence often compensates what he lacks athletically. We know that the Premier League was too fast for him, but could the Championship be different? Who knows? It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens there. I guess the biggest compliment I could pay Ward-Prowse is after this game, after sort of what he displayed in this game, is he looked comfortable. He looked like someone who kind of wanted to remind everyone, I can still play a huge role here. Then there's Keiber Lamadrid. And whilst it's important not to overreact on one pre-season appearance, there were definitely encouraging signs. I actually expected him to play mainly from the left-hand side of attack. Instead, he kind of was given a roaming role. He drifted a lot more into the centre of the park. He seemed to have license to do that. And that was good. He was constantly looking for space, trying to receive the ball between the lines, looking to turn defenders. And every time he got the ball, he wanted to make something happen. He was positive, confident, prepared to take risks. One moment particularly caught the eye in the first half is the strike that cannoned off the post. Had that gone in, we might be talking about Lamadrid in much more enthusiasm. But even without the goal, he showed confidence and good technique. And perhaps most importantly, it kind of showed belief. Young players often play within themselves when they make senior appearances. They were afraid to make mistakes, but Lamadrid wasn't like that. He's still got plenty to learn, but the important thing is that the raw ability is clearly there. Now the challenge is turning potential into consistency. Should he already be part of Nuno's Championship squad? Personally, I think he's given himself a genuine chance. And I guess the next few friendlies become hugely important. Can he repeat the same kind of performance? Can he do it against stronger opposition? If the answer is yes, then I honestly think he could save West Ham a significant amount of money. Instead of going out spending several millions on another attacking midfielder, if you've already got one developing inside your own academy, then why not give him a chance? I think it's one of the biggest positives to come from pre-season outings. Nuno has decisions to make. Some good. James Ward-Prowse, Keiber Lamadrid have both given Nuno plenty to think about before the Championship opener. And there's certain players that looks like Nuno's already made his mind up about whether they're going to be part of the season coming up or not. Fullkrug, Cornet, Todibo, he could have played, but he refused to play against Colchester in the behind closed doors friendly, and now he looks like he's going to be, frozen out completely. But what do you think? If you managed to watch the game without the stupid links going down every 5 minutes, did Ward-Prowse show he deserved maybe an opportunity to impress Nuno and stay within the squad? He'll certainly offer a lot of experience. Can Keiber Lamadrid genuinely break into the first team squad? I think he'll break into the first team squad, but will he be pushing now for a first team start? That's the difference. Or should we send him out on loan? But then if you send him out on loan, who are you going to send him to? A Championship team? We're already that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the show, I should have put it up earlier. A QR code has just appeared in that top corner there. Do click on that. It takes you to the subscription page, and subscription is free of charge. If you enjoyed the show, click on that to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, and hit the hype button as well. Let me know your thoughts about the game, about the players. Who impressed you? Did other academy players impress you? Let me know. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll be back again soon.